Welcome back to Confessions Uncovered, the podcast where real people share their deepest secrets in raw, unfiltered detail. Today we have a guest who's ready to bear it all about a story of betrayal, revenge, and the devastating fallout that followed. For anonymity, we'll call her Sarah. Sarah, thank you for joining us. Let's start at the beginning. How did you first discover your husband's infidelity?
Oh God, where do I even start? It was about 2 years ago, in our cozy little home in Seattle. My husband, Mark, and I had been married for 12 years. We had 2 kids, Lily, who's 10 now, and little Jake, 7. Life seemed perfect on the surface. Stable jobs, a nice house in the suburbs, weekend barbecues with friends. Mark worked as a software engineer at Tech Nova, and I was a marketing manager at Apex Innovations. But underneath, things were fraying. He'd been distant, always on his phone, late nights at work. One evening, I was folding laundry in our bedroom while the kids were asleep. The room smelled like fresh linen and Mark's cologne lingering on his shirts. I picked up his phone to charge it, innocent enough, and a message popped up from Amanda. My heart skipped. I shouldn't have, but I unlocked it with the code I knew. There were hundreds of texts, flirty, intimate, photos. They'd been seeing each other for months. She was his coworker, younger, vibrant. I felt this wave of nausea, like the floor was crumbling. I confronted him that night. He denied at first, then broke down, admitting it was just physical, a mistake. But the damage was done. I was shattered, furious. How could he? After everything we'd built? That night, I couldn't sleep. The house felt suffocating. The ticking clock in the hall, the distant hum of traffic outside. I paced the kitchen, sipping wine that tasted bitter on my tongue. Revenge bubbled up inside me like poison. Mark's best friend Alex had always been around. He was single, charming, a graphic designer who lived downtown. We'd flirted harmlessly at parties, but now it felt like the perfect payback. Sleep with him. Make Mark feel the same gut-wrenching pain. It was reckless, I know, but in that moment, anger blinded me. Little did I know it would destroy everything.
That's heavy, Sarah. The pain of discovery must have been overwhelming. Walk us through that decision to act on revenge. What made Alex the target, and how did the first encounter unfold?
Yeah, it was overwhelming. After the confrontation, Mark begged for forgiveness. We tried counseling for a week or 2, but I was seething inside. Every time I looked at him, I saw Amanda's face in those texts, her laughing emoji, her miss you hearts. Alex had been Mark's friend since college. They played basketball together, shared beers. He was at our wedding, godfather to Lily. Tall, with that easy smile and dark hair that always felt just right. He'd complimented me before, said I was the one that got away in jest, but now it wasn't jest. I texted Alex a few days later, pretending I needed advice about Mark. Can we meet for coffee? It's urgent. We met at a small cafe in Pike Place Market, the air thick with the scent of fresh coffee beans and salt water from the nearby bay. Tourists bustled around, but we found a quiet corner table. I wore a fitted dress, something I hadn't in ages, feeling the strange mix of vulnerability and power. As I spilled about Marcus' Stambuk affair, tears streaming, he reached across the table, his hand warm on mine. "He's an idiot," he said, his voice low, eyes intense. The touch lingered, electric. I felt seen, desired, in a way Mark hadn't made me feel in years. That coffee turned into drinks at a dimly lit bar nearby. The jazz music played softly, glasses clinking, the bourbon burning my throat. We laughed about old times, but the conversation shifted, charged. He admitted he'd always found me attractive. I leaned in, the alcohol blurring lines. "What if we," I whispered, His eyes darkened. We left together, hailing a cab to his apartment overlooking the city lights. The ride was tense, his hand on my thigh sending shivers. In his place, minimalist with leather couches and abstract art, we didn't waste time. He kissed me against the door, urgent, his stubble rough on my skin, cologne musky like sandalwood. Clothes fell away, the cool air on my bare skin, his hands exploring, firm yet gentle. It was raw, passionate, nothing like the routine with Mark. We collapsed on his bed, sheets tangled, hearts racing. But as the high faded, guilt hit like a truck. What had I done? This was supposed to be one time, revenge. But his touch lingered in my mind.
The intensity of that first night sounds intoxicating, yet terrifying. How did it evolve from that one act into something more? Did the guilt subside, or did it fuel the fire?
Intoxicating is right. It was like a drug, that rush. The next morning, I snuck out before dawn, the city still asleep, fog rolling in off the sound. My head pounded from the hangover, but more from the regret. I drove home, the radio playing some sad love song that mocked me. Mark was making breakfast, oblivious, kissing my cheek like nothing. I forced a smile, but inside I was unraveling. "How was your night out?" he asked. "Fine," I lied, the word tasting like ash. For a week, I avoided Alex's texts. "Last night was amazing," he wrote. "Wanna talk?" But the guilt gnawed at me, picturing Lily's innocent face, Jake's hugs. Yet the anger at Mark resurfaced every time he touched me. Then, at a family barbecue, our backyard smelling of grilled burgers and fresh cut grass, Alex showed up, invited by Mark. He acted normal, but our eyes met across the lawn, a secret spark. Later, in the kitchen while grabbing drinks, he cornered me. "I can't stop thinking about you," he murmured, his breath hot on my ear. My pulse raced. I pushed him away, but not before a quick kiss that left me breathless. That sparked the cycle. We started meeting secretly. Lunches turned trysts in his car, parked in secluded lots overlooking the ferry terminals, windows fogging from our heat. One afternoon, in a cheap motel on the outskirts, the room reeked of stale smoke and cheap soap. He brought wine, candles flickering, trying to make it romantic. His fingers traced my spine, slow and teasing, lips on my neck tasting of salt. It was addictive, the forbidden thrill, feeling alive again. But each time, post-climax, the shame crashed in. I'd cry in the shower at home, water masking tears, wondering if I was no better than Mark. The lines blurred. Revenge became desire. I craved his validation, the way he made me feel young, wanted. Meanwhile, family life cracked. Arguments with Mark escalated, kids sensing the tension. My work suffered. I missed deadlines at Apex, dreams of promotion fading. This wasn't just lust. It was becoming an addiction, poisoning everything.
It's clear how quickly it escalated. Can you describe a specific moment where the emotional conflict peaked during one of these meetings? How did it affect your daily life?
One moment stands out vividly. About a month in. We'd planned a business trip me telling Mark I had a conference in Portland, but really meeting Alex at a secluded cabin in the Olympic Peninsula. The drive was rainy, wipers slapping rhythmically, forest blurring by. The cabin was rustic, wood-paneled, fireplace crackling, scent of pine and damp earth outside. We arrived at dusk, stars emerging over the lake. That night, after dinner, steak he grilled, wine flowing, we sat by the fire. His hand on my knee, calloused from hiking, sent warmth through me. We talked deeply about my marriage's stagnation, his loneliness. It felt emotional, not just physical. On the rug, flames dancing shadows on our skin, he undressed me slowly, kisses trailing like fire. His body against mine, muscles tense, sweat mingling. It was ecstasy. But midway, I flashed to Mark, tucking the kids in, and tears welled. "What's wrong?" Alex asked, pausing. I confessed the guilt, how it tore me apart. He held me, whispering it was okay. We deserved happiness. We continued, but it was tainted. Attraction mixed with repulsion at myself. Back home, the impact hit hard. I snapped at Lily over homework, ignored Jake's stories. Mark noticed my distance. Sex with him felt mechanical, obligatory. At work, I zoned out in meetings, my ambition crumbling. I dreamed of leading campaigns, but now, focus gone, I got passed over for a raise. Friends commented I seemed off. The addiction grew. I'd check my phone obsessively for Alex's messages, heart fluttering. Yet, regret built. Lost dreams of family vacations, trust evaporated. I saw myself as fractured, no longer the devoted wife, mother. Power dynamic shifted too. Alex pushed for more, saying he loved me, but I knew it was control, the thrill of stealing from his friend.
The cabin scene paints such a vivid picture of that inner turmoil. As the affair continued, were there near discoveries that heightened the stakes? How did those moments amplify your regret?
Near discoveries? Oh, there were a few that nearly ended it all. One was at our annual neighborhood block party in summer. The street buzzed with laughter, grills smoking, kids running with sparklers as dusk fell. Mark and Alex were chatting by the fire pit, beers in hand. I'd slipped away to check on the desserts in our garage, but Alex followed. The air was thick with charcoal and cut grass. He pulled me behind shelves, kissing fiercely, hands under my shirt, the risk exhilarating. But then, Mark's voice called, "Sarah, where was Sharpo?"
Especially your game was small way when the scribble area with my myself free I'm hit around now even wait and people now with you for change to that and that correct dangerous and it your okay now that was meant to meaning show for 70 but the lord and turn to the eastern this mother movie was Dorian go to me for me what I have never learned get everybody okay the sex never learned different in could you sense me what because you got was wrong Jay I got the message to see where that purchase with her feels this song old now the niche is querying behind in the rings grand fright it was the shit and just tell like Gina the my music my canary school and every better remember on Stephen Lewis foot if else here for the code what is not I mean man like gold never gone up oh and like I just back took which upsetting me skip and the to never honest she meant maybe to be the reason is so they were taking a which help and naked was that judge on to play that I'm version sir dog was I'm just saying certain it's a fill I'd for time of field and it just y'all be wings is eating they can absolutely he gave him teach you against there's some position fill this again now where was them bro I've been Mary I looked at Steve come let's go and if I was here reading to unique weird and let him and that is either yours if he will echo to us the whole end to the when did ever bearable mom and the same chance many howling the net from and this is in hand the savage spinning up low reach I mean my friends it's one thing on it when short but one hand I'm sick of friend the guns there was lamp Margaret rather laser was it that's the word thing never said what can mean that you imagine that you get see me what decision so there and just a very about well I'm being some bad so that looks correct and you've been on crazy sleep. For X, and it's another sort of I'll see an eye apple. Sorry, even like I'm your children when club. They will pick up a number. Hang on, the other as this year. People need of us. Give me a order for then. I haven't. I'll look for to hear us. Maybe think it. They haven't got out. Zern to pre. I'm made. But I'm not real. I'm not the Jim. I'm saying, could you connect the but love crowd. That's the I'm the fact after pretty sweet. I mean, I go very now. Where do I even time on the shoulder? The could select had to ring. Thing. What the boss is. Look at it. There. We help. And they did. And this is Julie. I lost that prima. I got that license. Here is the number just waiting for the Arab. So I don't know. My way be enough clearance. We actually see. I mean, true shame. I mean, that's it. We had shame eternally. I don't know. We can even cheat to see. We can even king Billy. If they went up and she Billy. Maybe this carries our tools to be nation. What about trouble? Might have been I was all the recall. It form. Did I ever to work to I mean, why is there a working problem? If I respond to her, swing to or even this should be fine. And I wish that if minutes they was oh, and just fitting and give them I real Miss Mark she never from Kennedy Rice manage in my blame it the poor story treat never been let's getting children more maybe we got some call it I was no well mystery I never through much of the room purpling or right there's continued lot of look charging me I'm in here no.
But Lily found it in my jewelry box weeks later. Mom, this is new, she said innocently. I lied it was from a colleague, but her trusting eyes haunted me. These moments amplified regret. The affair wasn't just destroying me, it risked the kids' world. My self-perception shifted. I used to be ambitious, the woman who climbed from intern to manager. Now I questioned my identity. Cheater. Liar. Relationships fractured. Dinners with friends felt fake, smiles forced. Ambitions forgotten. I turned down a project that could have led to VP, too distracted. The allure was there. Alex's bold texts, seductive promises. But shame dominated. A constant weight.
Those risks must have been adrenaline-fueled nightmares. How did the affair start affecting your relationship with Mark more directly? Did he suspect anything?
It poisoned everything with Mark. We'd argue over nothing, dishes, schedules, but underneath was my hypocrisy. I threw his affair in his face during fights, but felt like a fraud.
One evening, after a clandestine lunch with Alex, his office smelling of coffee and printer ink, us on his desk amid papers quick and frantic, I came home reeking of his aftershave. Mark hugged me, nose wrinkling. "New perfume?" he asked, casually. Panic surged. I mumbled about a sample. But his eyes lingered, doubt creeping in. Sex with Mark became rare, mechanical. I'd close my eyes, think of Alex's touch, firmer, more passionate. Guilt twisted it. Attraction to Alex repulsed me from Mark. Family dynamics shattered. Weekends, once filled with parks and movies, turned tense. Jake asked why Mommy was sad. Lily withdrew. My addiction grew, craving Alex's calls, his voice husky over the phone, late nights when Mark slept. But regret deepened. I reflected on lost dreams. A family trip to Europe we'd planned. An end, now canceled amid fights. Trust? Gone. I didn't trust myself anymore. My identity as a good mother eroded. Friends noticed. One, Emily, confronted me at coffee saying I seemed distant. I brushed it off. But isolation grew. The power dynamic with Alex tilted. He demanded more time, threatening to tell if I ended it. Seductive coercion, wrapped in lust. It was destructive, unraveling my ambitions. I stalled at work, promotions slipping away.
The hypocrisy adds another layer of psychological tension. Dive deeper into a scene where lust and guilt collided head-on, perhaps during a longer getaway.
There was this weekend retreat Alex planned, masquerading as a girls' trip for me. We drove to a bed and breakfast in Napa Valley, vineyards stretching under sunny skies, air sweet with grapes. The room was luxurious, four-poster bed, balcony overlooking hills, scent of lavender from the gardens. We checked in as Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, the lie thrilling yet sickening. That first night, after wine tasting, rich red staining our lips, we returned buzzed. He lit candles, their flicker casting golden light. Music played softly, jazz saxophone moaning. He undressed me deliberately, fingers grazing skin like silk, lips following. On the bed, sheets crisp and cool, his body heavy on mine, rhythm building, sweat, gasps, the headboard thumping. It was peak lust, bodies syncing perfectly. But as we lay entangled, his arm around me, guilt flooded. I thought of Mark reading bedtime stories to the kids, alone. Tears escaped. Alex noticed, pulling me close. "This is real," he said. But I felt repulsion, at him, at myself. Was this love or vengeance gone wrong? The next day, hiking trails, hand in hand, birds chirping, breeze rustling leaves, he confessed deeper feelings. It blurred lines further. Back home, the impact lingered. I avoided Mark's gaze, snapped at kids. My self-view shattered, once confident, now a shell, ambitions buried under secrets. Relationships frayed. Emily distanced herself, sensing lies. Family broke, dinners silent, trust evaporated. The affair's coercion showed. Alex's texts turned possessive, promising passion but implying threats. Shame balanced the allure, leaving me conflicted, addicted yet regretful.
Napa sounds like a turning point in emotional depth. As months passed, how did the toxic cycle manifest in everyday interactions with Alex and your family?
Months in, it was a full-blown cycle. Every day with Alex. Stolen moments at his place, couch creaking under us, city sirens distant. One afternoon, rain pattering windows, he cooked pasta, garlic and basil wafting. We ate, then made love on the counter, urgent, plates crashing. Lust peaked, but post, I'd dress hurriedly, guilt surging. "Stay," he'd beg, eyes pleading. Power shifted. He held my secret, subtly coercive. With family, chaos. Mark and I fought constantly, over money, kids, but my infidelity fueled it. Jake's birthday party, backyard balloons popping, cake sweet. But I texted Alex under the table, heart racing. Mark caught my distraction, accused me of not caring. Guilt amplified. I overcompensated, hugging kids too tight. Regret on lost dreams. I'd wanted to start a side business, but energy drained. Identity altered. Saw myself as betrayer. Trust in others gone. Friends like James pulled away. Family dynamics toxic. Ambition? Stagnant at apex. Past for lead. The affair's addiction. Craving his touch, scent. But repulsion grew. Fearing exposure. It was destructive, leaving scars on everyone.
The birthday party detail highlights the infiltration into family life. Were there attempts to end it? What pulled you back?
I tried ending it multiple times. After Napa, I ghosted Alex for days. But he showed up at my work, Apex's sleek office in downtown Seattle, glass walls reflecting Puget Sound. He waited in the lobby, flowers in hand, roses, thorns pricking as I took them. "We need to talk," he said. In a conference room, blinds drawn, fluorescent hum overhead. He kissed me, hands gripping. "I can't quit you," he whispered. The pull was magnetic. We ended up against the wall, quick, risky. Guilt hit immediately, colleagues nearby, voices murmuring. What pulled me back? The high, the escape from marital boredom? But attempts failed. He'd text photos, seductive memories. Emotional conflict raged, attraction to his boldness, repulsion at betrayal. Long-term, relationships fractured, Mark distant, kids anxious. My ambition withered. I declined a transfer to San Francisco, fearing distance from Alex. Self-perception. Lost trust in my morals. Identity as faithful wife gone. Family dreams. Holy days. Stability shattered. The coercive edge, his hints of telling Mark if I stopped. It spiraled, regret mounting, yet addiction held.
The office risk escalates things. Describe a moment of profound regret, perhaps involving the children directly.
Profound regret came during Lily's school play. Stage lights bright, auditorium smelling of popcorn and perfume. She was a lead, beaming in her costume. But I arrived late, detoured to Alex's for a hurried tryst, his bed messy, clock ticking, bodies frantic. Rushing in, disheveled, Mark glared. Lily spotted me mid-scene, waving happily. Applause thundered. I clapped, but hollow inside. After, she hugged me backstage, costume itchy. "You almost missed it, Mom." Her words crushed me. Home, tucking her in, room pink with posters, nightlight glowing. I cried silently. Regret overwhelmed. Missing milestones for what? Lust? It affected everything. Kids' innocence tainted by tension. Mark and I barely communicated. Trust nil. Friends avoided invites. My ambitions, once to mentor young marketers, now struggling to function. Identity fractured. Saw myself as selfish, addictive personality emerging. The affair's impact, family breakdown looming, guilt perpetual. Alex's seduction pulled, but repulsion at cost to kids grew, leaving me torn.
Heart-wrenching how it touches the kids. How did the unraveling begin? Was there a big incident?
The unraveling started with suspicions turning to confrontations. Mark found a hotel keycard in my purse from a midday escape with Alex. Room service trays, silk robes, champagne fizzing. "What's this?" he demanded in our living room, kids asleep upstairs, lamps casting long shadows. I stammered a lie about work event. He didn't believe. We yelled, voices echoing. "Are you seeing someone?" Close to the truth. Alex pushed too, calling late, Mark answering once. "Wrong number?" Mark asked. But paranoia grew. One night, after a park meet, benches damp, ducks quacking, Alex's embrace warm, he said, "Leave him." Pressure mounted. Family dynamics, dinners silent, kids whispering, regret on fractured bonds. Jake's drawings of happy families mocked me. Ambitions lost, I turned down training at Apex. Self-trust gone, identity as mother questioned. The web tightened, secrets unraveling, fear of total breakdown.
Suspicion from Mark must have been a ticking time bomb. Dive into a scene where the coercion from Alex became overt.
Overt coercion came during a weekend, at his cabin. Again. This time unplanned. I tried to end it via text. He insisted I come one last time. The drive was foggy, roads winding through evergreens, scent of wet pine invading the car. Arriving, fire roaring, he poured scotch, amber liquid swirling. "You can't leave," he said, voice edged, pulling me onto the rug. Hands firm, kisses forceful, lust mixed with control. "I'll tell Mark everything if you do." Threat hung heavy. We proceeded, bodies colliding, but it felt tainted, his grip bruising. After, staring at ceiling beams, guilt raged. "This is wrong," I whispered. He laughed softly. "But you came." Power imbalance clear, his hold on my secret. Back home, impact deepened. Mark distant, kids affected by parents' moods. Relationships broken. Emily confronted. "You're changing." My dreams, starting a nonprofit, abandoned. Identity, repulsive cheater. The affair's toll, regret, fear, family on edge.
The threat changes the nature entirely. How did this lead to further emotional chaos?
Chaos escalated. I became paranoid. Alex's texts constant, demanding. One evening in our home office, counters granite cold, computer humming, I deleted messages, hands shaking. Mock entered. "Who are you talking to?" Accusation sharp. I denied, but fight ensued, dishes crashing. With kids, guilt peaked. Jake's teacher called about his withdrawal. Family outings tense, laughter forced, regret on lost trust, ambitions faded. I quit Apex, citing stress. Self-perception, addicted, weak. The cycle, lusts blur with fear, destruction imminent.
Paranoia sounds debilitating. Describe a near-total exposure moment.
Near total at a double date with friends, restaurant in Belltown, clatter of silverware, wine glasses tinkling. Alex, coincidentally there, with a date. Eyes met, tension thick. He texted under table, "Meet me in the back." I did. Alley dark, rain slicked, his kiss urgent. But Mark followed, seeing shadows. "Sarah?" I pushed Alex into darkness, claiming smoke break. Heart pounded. Home, Mark interrogated, I gaslit. Guilt crushed. Family breaking, kids sensing. Ambitions gone, identity lost. Regret overwhelming.
That alley scene is chilling. How did it affect your long-term relationships?
It severed ties. Emily cut contact after I confessed partially. Mark's friendship with Alex ended over vibes. Family, arguments constant, kids anxious. Lost dreams, travel, career growth. Self, trustless, conflicted.
The isolation must be profound. Walk us through the breakdown of the family unit.
Breakdown culminated in separation. One night, Mark found texts, phone buzzing, Alex's name. His best friend? He raged, kids waking, crying. I confessed, tears flowing. He left, taking kids temporarily. Impact. Alone in empty home, echoes haunting. Regret. Relationships shattered. Ambition nil.
Devastating. Amid this, did the affair continue?
Briefly. In desperation, Alex comforted, but coercion evident. Guilt dominated.
How has it left you now?
Now, July 2025. I'm in therapy. Family in pieces. Kids shuttle between homes. Trust broken. I regret the revenge. It cost identity, dreams. Yet, part of me wonders if exposing Alex's coercion could mend, or if continuing for stability is better. No, it's delusion. The dilemma. Confess all, risk more pain, or hide, live with guilt. Fear paralyzes. Conflict rages. What have I become?